as entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. What is the difference between a business coach and a strategic business advisor? I'm going to tell you. It's pretty important. All right, so let's be candid right now. And anybody who's sold a business or got fired or doesn't want to go back to work, they call themselves a business coach. There are business coaches everywhere. It is amazing. And the reality is that I think for the most part, there's really good intention and likely they're helping people. There's a whole bunch of different business operating systems out there, from EOS to Pinnacle to Scaling Up, and they're great tools. And a lot of people who are doing that are calling themselves coaches. So, and some people are calling themselves coaches for all sorts of different things. I think there's good value in there, but remember, there's a big difference between coaches and a strategic advisor. So I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of companies. I initially started as a coach, but because of the experience I have, I've evolved to becoming much more of a strategic business advisor. So the difference, the way that I look at this, is that a coach traditionally is going to help guide, educate, and facilitate through proven structures, processes, tools, things like that. It's where it's going to be kind of like, it's helping you change your mindset and evolving and guiding through it. And there can be tremendous value. A lot of times these people may have some experience. A lot of times these people have consulting experience, but they've never genuinely been operators. They haven't been deep in the weeds. So maybe they know what they're talking about with these things, maybe they don't, but they likely know what they're talking about when they're using those tools and resources to implement and educate those. Now, advisors are very different. Advisors will use a lot of the same tools and resources that coaching do, but where the real value for a good quality strategic advisor comes in is that they have the experience and insights to help people really scale and go in a whole different direction. I've had the good fortune to work with hundreds of companies, and I've got a handful that we've even gone from entrepreneurial all the way to billion-dollar market caps. But the fact that I've been through those rodeos over and over and over and over and over means that I'm going to be able to help see into the future, see around the corners. I have those insights where I can say, well, you know what, we've gone through this before. Yeah, you guys have got a great operating system, but what about this over here? Or what about that over there? It's the type of thing that a good strategic advisor is going to be, it's going to be a solid outside perspective that will collaborate with. And traditionally, like, I work exclusively with the CEOs. With that, I'm collaborating and I'm coaching and helping them become the great leaders that they can be. But this is where the adage that it's lonely at the top is true. You know, you become the choke point as that CEO, particularly as you grow. If you start to be in an A round, a B round, you start having investors, a board. Well, there are certain things where there is no way in hell you can go talk to your board about it. I mean, in the perfect world you could, but honestly, it usually doesn't happen. And in the same respect, maybe it's about people on your leadership team. Maybe you've got an undeveloped leadership team, or you've got growing pains that are happening there, and you don't have anybody to talk to. You're not sure, but you don't have the ability to talk to that team. You don't have the ability to talk to people on your board. And having that advisor who can listen and do it fearlessly, be curious, be present for you, but also want to say, dude, I think you got a blind spot here. Now, as an advisor, I will give my opinion. Almost never will a coach give an opinion. It's just sort of like counseling. Counselors are not allowed to, they don't give opinions. They traditionally help people carry through. But as an advisor, I will give you my opinion. I'll be very clear on it when I'm doing. And it's the kind of thing where we help problem solve. Now, I'm reasonably dyslexic. I've had 16 companies myself, so I've seen a lot of shit, and I solve problems completely different. So I may be working with an aerospace company, but actually take lessons I learned from an AI company or a crypto company, or who knows what it is, but it's the crossovers in those different areas. But it's helping people to figure out what is the vision where we want to go, helping that senior leader define what does amazing look like, and really challenging and getting them to think it so they can become the great leader. How do we build that amazing team? How do we handle those massive relationships? Maybe it's strategic relationships. Maybe we're making an entire pivot. We've never lived in more disruptive times, and what's going to come over the next 10 years is going to be mind-bending. And making sure that you've got somebody who's pulling you out of the weeds and say, dude, stop, miss, take a breath. Let's figure out what's really important. Where do we need to be focusing on? What are your thoughts? Have you considered this? What about that? How about this thing coming in? It's those types of things that are going to really allow for that senior leader to build a team, to build an organization that can scale and just explode. So ideally, you'd find a little value in this. If you got any questions, hey, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you. If you like this, share it, like it, do whatever you do on that channel. Anyway, keep smiling.